Woo! Just another TrashCulture podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Trash Culture Podcast. I'm Nick. Like always, this is
Oscar.
Happy legalization of weed in New York.
Yes. Today's a big day for all weed smokers in New York.
Hell yeah. But the thing is, we're not going to have, like, dispensaries here for, what, another year and a half?
Well, I mean, we have dispensaries on the island, don't we? There's one literally on 110 near where you're staying at.
Right. Oh, well, I think that's basically,
I know it's medical.
yeah.
But
there's no recreational yet.
No, in the state there is. It's just there's no recreational dispensaries.
Well, that's what I mean. There's no recreational dispensaries. Like, all right, and I find it funny because, like, the difference between here and in Canada, they legalized it, and then, like, that month, they had dispensaries open. People fucking flooded it within like I said this in another episode, I believe. In 2 days, they wiped out a quarter of their nation's debt. Or one day, actually. So
there were similar stories in Colorado when they did it, too.
That's what I mean. Why would you be so against of doing this throughout the whole country? It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, one of the biggest opponents to it is just all the stuff that you can do with cannabis. Like, you can make clothes, plastic, paper. Right. So that puts a lot of other industries at risk, you know? I mean, it's
and
still,
big pharma.
And big pharma. And I mean, big pharma is the big one. But the other ones, it's like, I don't think it's going to affect them that much because it takes longer, and the quality of the cannabis, whatever product that you have, isn't always as good as like regular paper or plastic or whatever the fuck. But yeah, big pharma is the one that's really against it because there's a lot of things you can use weed for, you know, especially when it comes to like, you know, psychology and stuff, trying to calm people down. When hand creams and lotions that like help with arthritis and things like that.
Yep.
There's a lot of things you can do with that, and a lot of it's therapeutic. And a lot of people out in California, Colorado, and Washington, places that have already had established legalization, have already taken advantage of all of that stuff.
Well, yeah, for sure. And that's like the whole thing, that there's like many benefits to it, and there's like probably big industries that are nervous to have weed legal throughout the whole United States.
Yeah.
This is a capitalist country. I mean, you know, I feel in my eyes, with the economy wise, with shit and companies, it's a whole big fucking king of the hill thing. You try to knock the one person over. I mean, we could take an example and look at Disney. They bought out like everything, especially like one of our favorite things, Marvel.
Yep.
You know,
yeah, no, I mean, we thought we were doing monopolies, but they've just taken on different entities, or they take over in another way. Because, like, you may not be owned by Disney, but you're owned by a company that's a company owned by Disney.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have to just keep going up the ladder and see who actually owns all of this shit.
Exactly, and that's like the whole thing. The United States is just all about money, and we touched on this with the presidency, I think, and everything else before that with the riots in another episode, that our democracy isn't really a true democracy. And anyway, if it was for the people, I'm pretty sure, I'm speculating here that probably at least 80% of Americans smoke recreationally.
That might be
too high.
That might be too high.
What would you say?
Maybe conservative, like maybe 65%.
All right, so knock off 15.
I would say more than half, but there's definitely the contingency of just like they actually took the DARE program seriously, that kind of thing.
That's basically the whole thing, you know. But now the one thing that I also noticed, speaking of capitalism, is when in Canada, when I went to the dispensaries and I would buy eighths, you know, like you'd go out here if you went to get an eighth from somebody, it could go anywhere from $25 to $50. Now, when I went to that dispensary, the lowest percentage one was $20 Canadian. That's $15 American. The most expensive one, which is 25% THC, was $37 Canadian, which was equated to $25 American. The cheapest eighth. The most expensive eighth there costs just as much as the cheapest eighth out here.
Really?
That's on the street too, and that's in a dispensary. But if you look at dispensaries out here, you get a pre-roll from like Massachusetts, you're spending like $50 to $75.
Really? I just think that might be a West Coast thing. I mean, East Coast thing.
That could definitely be it.
Because I mean, I haven't heard stories like that about stuff in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, no, I've heard it's pretty fairly priced.
Well,
it also could just be because there's so many of them everywhere. It's not like there's no way for you to really hike up the price because everyone's growing.
Right.
Like you can have plants in your own home. You don't have to go. You can grow it your fucking self.
Well,
like tomatoes.
Who legalized it first, Cali or Colorado?
Oh, I don't remember. I actually want to say Cali first.
Yeah.
I don't remember though. I know it was a big deal when Colorado got it, and then also New Jersey's legal too.
Yep.
One of the problems that they were saying in New Jersey is that a lot of like, I don't know if they were considered like if they were like underground dispensaries or something. I know there was some guy that I follow that says that a lot of the dispensaries that already existed aren't getting grandfathered in to getting a permit or something like that.
Really?
So they're basically the state is kind of privatizing the weed sector already and not letting the people that have their own thing going.
Right.
Like really get their own license to sell. And I think that was the issue. I gotta check up on that and see if they followed up with it, because I know there was one proponent that had his own dispensary and he was selling bud and shit in the community, but I don't think he's legally allowed to sell it because he's not a legal dispensary.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's mostly about selling. You can still possess whatever you're gonna possess and it's fine. But it's like if you're trying to sell it, you have to go through a lot of hoops. They're already privatizing that to companies. Just, hey, come here and make your dispensary.
Right. Well, that's the funny thing. Like, because when I was up there, right, in Montreal, they also had an app, because I was out, a neighbor, like, she was like with like her friend, and this guy I was talking about, I'm like, where I don't know where I can find weed or, whatever. And he's like, well, there's this app called Weed Maps.
What?
Yeah, there's an app called Weed Maps. Basically, it shows where there is dispensaries or companies and stuff. But then I noticed some of these places aren't really dispensaries. They're just, I'm like, you guys got edibles, and Quebec never had edibles yet.
Okay.
So I was like, am I going to get like, get in trouble for this? Is this going to be like, because there would be people, it's illegal, I guess in Canada, or maybe the province I was in, it's illegal to sell. If you like, as if you're not a dispensary or a company, and like you're like, an
like you just can't like set up like a lemonade stand inside of your house.
Yeah, sell some weed. Yeah. So one guy was like downtown, and I walked past him, and he's like, hey man, I got an eighth, and then like an idiot, me, I'm like, well, how much? And like, so he's like, $40. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
Not knowing.
Yeah, not knowing. And then, my ex told me, oh, don't do that. There's people undercover. I'm like, all right, let's just keep walking then. I didn't know that. So
that's kind of fucked up though. Like, why?
Well, I don't even know why they even had like, because apparently,
like, why would you be undercover to like, oh, I caught you trying to buy the legal thing that we have,
right,
but not from the right place. So
exactly.
Here's your loophole. Do they give you a ticket, or they arrest you?
I have no idea, because I didn't fall into the trap.
That's fucking stupid.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, dude, like when they had like, because people don't understand like if you can smoke in public here or not. But when I was up there in the beginning, they did like, I literally went into the dispensary, walked out of the dispensary, had like bought 3 pre-rolls and lit one up in front of a cop. They didn't say shit. So, but out here, I don't know how the rules are yet. I don't know if they like, they didn't propose them yet, because we don't even have the dispensaries. So, but they said you're allowed to have 3 ounces on you. I don't know if that means on your person, like you could be out in public.
I think that's what that means.
Like
if you have 3 ounces in your car, like you just want to go buy 3 ounces, you have that, you should be fine.
Right.
That's what I think that means.
Maybe, but like, because
they're letting you grow plant. Like we're talking about New York now, right?
Right. You can grow.
But there's like a stipulation that I think it's like after like 18 days or something after it becomes legal, then you could start growing your own stuff.
Right.
Certain dispensaries, I think we're gonna like, if you can actually get a license or something to sell, but you can't do anything until I believe 30 days after the first dispensary is open in your area.
Right.
So I mean, there's rules, but I'm just going off of what people are saying here. It's just, I don't think you're gonna be allowed to smoke out in the street. Like, just smoke a joint out in the street.
No.
Like, because I feel to me that's like drinking a beer out in public. You're getting intoxicated in public.
Well, that's how they treated it after a while there. It's like, and there was the same rules as like operating like machinery or vehicles.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's going to
You
be a
can't
whole...
be high behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just as, it'd be
It's
just
hard
as
to
bad.
test that, though.
Well, it's hard to test that. Well, yeah.
That you just smoked. Like, if you, let's say you, like, because I know they have the mouth swab, and it's like, what, for 6 hours or something?
Something like that.
So if, like, you had a joint, like, 6 hours ago, and you just got caught at the threshold of it, like, I don't think that's...
Are you really going to be that high after 6 hours?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Let's say you get pulled over, and you just get unlucky, and you get unlucky. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that they could, well, and this is the whole thing, too, that'd be really weird. Because some people have a higher tolerance. So, like, somebody could be fucking smacked and just literally, if they did have a test for that, fucking pass it. But it's like, well, you reek of bud. Okay, because I smoked, like, hours ago. And, so, yeah, there's kind of a gray area there. I don't know how they're going to do that yet.
Yeah.
But it's the thing is, I'm pretty sure they do have tests for it. They're going to have to, but... Because they'd have to, when they pulled people over originally.
I know there was some places they used to do blood tests. Like, they'd be like...
That would take days, wouldn't it?
Or a day? I have no fucking idea.
Like, or whatever, however
I heard
long
it was, like,
took.
down south or something. I heard it from a couple of Marines that I used to know.
Because that's like, dude, they can't take, like, a piss test. What are they going to be like, oh, take a piss test? There actually is rapid tests like that now. So, they could do that. They could definitely do that, but
it's not like I said. There's a grace period in between where it's like
yes,
like because if you're taking a piss test, like you could smoke weed. Like if you're a habitual like weed smoker, that's in your system for like especially if you're like have a high body fat content.
Oh, months.
Yeah, months. You're not getting that shit out of your system for months.
If you're skinny, and because like I am a thin dude. You can take I've smoked weed. I don't know if I have a high metabolism or if it's because like I have like higher adrenaline or whatever it is. But I've drank water but you could flush it out of your not flush it, but flood it, like dilute it.
You dilute it.
There's been a time though where I smoked and then not even a week I had a drug test and I took it. And I was like. And I passed. I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
how the fuck did I do that?
It's usually skinny dudes. Like a mutual friend of ours, he's pretty ripped too.
Yeah.
So he has really low body fat content. So it's like it'll take him 2 days to piss it out.
Yep.
2 days max.
So the thing is, I think like whose eyes are really going to be red though after 6 hours? That's what I keep speculating this shit.
If you don't take it. I mean, your eyes are going to stay red. I mean, regardless until you put something in them or you like rest or whatever.
Right. Well, all right. Well,
and even then, it's not even a good tell because you could just be tired as fuck too. My eyes get red after being tired. So
very, very true. So I mean, then maybe we'll see what they do with that. But in honor of legalization of marijuana, I will leave you with this sound. Oh my God! I'm so happy we don't have to call these fish tanks anymore. The bogs.
No, we don't have to call them that anymore.
I mean,
just hope that no one we have future jobs with ever knows that we do this podcast.
Well, you know what? If they're gonna bash me for smoking weed or used to smoking weed, then I don't want to work for the company. To be honest with you,
it's gonna be most companies because
it's gonna be most. Well,
it will because it's a liability thing. It's a liability thing. Like
I'm literally gonna say that because when I lived in that city up there, dude, it reeked. It reeked up in the city everywhere. So, and I knew people that had so many different types of jobs. My ex, she she smoked with me, and she's a nurse.
Also, they've had it legal for a while though.
They did.
Oh, and it's a while. Like, how long has it been? It's got to be at least like 6 years.
When
now.
that happened, it was like no. This was like, dude, I went up there in September, in 2018, the first time to live there. So then, a month later, October, it became legal.
Oh,
and, yeah.
Wow. COVID really messed up my. All right.
Yeah. So then, 2018, I was living there and stuff, and then like on and off for 2 years, and then COVID hit. I mean, then I was there from like the pandemic hit there in March. So then I left in May. So then like it didn't fuck up anything for me. The dispensary wasn't closed. That actually counted. Like, what is that thing? That whole thing, grocery stores and stuff. You're counted as a
essential.
Essential. That was counted as an essential place to be open for people's one for. I think it was for sanity reasons and everything else.
Well, technically, if you sold beer too,
yeah,
you're essential.
Yeah. So like, it's crazy how it works. I'm just happy that it is legal. And it's not, but it's funny because it wasn't like anyway when I was younger, I'd be walking down like Montauk Highway, Merrick Road with a joint in my hand. A cop passes me, doesn't smell it or doesn't see me with it.
I mean, as long as you're not being suspect about it, you're just smoking like you're smoking a cigarette. Yeah. They're not going to say shit. I mean, what I used to do when I was a kid, I found out that it wasn't really that good because the filter would, because because I used to smoke cigarettes too. I would like take cheap cigarettes, like take out all the fucking tobacco and just stuff the cigarette with weed.
You'd make spliffs.
I would just fill the whole fucking thing with weed.
Oh.
But then because the filter and stuff, it took out a lot of whatever, and also the
paper.
The paper burns faster.
Yep.
And so, but I mean, either way, it looked like a cigarette. And then also after that, I went to like the bat with the dugout.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So bats. That looks like a cigarette. I mean, it looks weird that I'm lighting it every 5 seconds, but I just pretend like that's windy. Yeah. Oh, I guess I better light this again.
I can't. My cigarette keeps going out.
It keeps going out. Wow, these are terrible cigarettes. I'm going to keep smoking them now.
These are like American Spirits.
I've been on this one for like 3 hours.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of American Spirits, those fucking things you can't. Like, you used to smoke cigarettes, right?
I used to.
So did I fucking switch to a vape. Hopefully then I'm probably going to kick these now because I'm almost bored of them.
The vapes?
Yeah, because it's like, I got
why don't you get like an actual like a vape rig?
Oh, dude, no.
Like the one where those people that are smoking their iPods. Get one of those.
No. I can't can't do that because it looks so. It's just.
It's not. I mean, it's
no. But when that came out,
if you're trying to kick cigarettes, that's what a lot of people do.
But, or like a Kyle or Chad, the dudes with the flat brim and with a fidget spinner in one hand and then the modded vape in the other.
Do they still have backwards visors? Is that still a thing? Is visor cap still a thing?
Oh my God, Jesus!
I don't know. That's dating myself.
Holy 2000.
Frosted tips.
Fuck. Oh my God.
Crop tops and frosted tips.
Crop tops and frosted tips.
Bro. Got this sweet watermelon vape. You got to try it.
You guys try. Oh my God.
I hate you. I'll shotgun it into your mouth.
This is Lush Ice. It's basically. It's a minty watermelon flavor.
Why would you shotgun it in your mouth? It's fine. It's not gay. It's vaping.
God.
It's not gay if we don't make eye contact.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. You know what's funny too is like speaking of. I mean, I don't know if people are trying to cancel him because that's his sexual orientation. Lil Nas X.
I mean, honestly, good for him. Because I've never seen a guy do that shit before. Pull a Madonna like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I mean,
nope.
Besides if you count David Bowie being androgynous and all that shit, kind of dressing like a girl.
Yes.
If you want to go with like old hair metal and stuff like that, and the way that they use makeup, whatever, fine. But no, this guy is gay.
Yes.
And he straight up just did a lap dance on
the devil.
On the devil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is some Madonna ass shit.
Yeah. No, because if you look at it,
I mean,
actually,
even Madonna kind of sucks, but Lil Nas pulled it off.
Yeah. But if you that was a perfect example though, because if you like he's doing the same type of shit that she's doing, like almost satire shit. Because when he did that song with fucking Hannah Montana bitch, whatever,
Miley Cyrus.
Because
he did like some weird country / like hip hop kind of thing.
So he
right?
is like
he's a fusion artist.
Yeah, he's a fusion artist, which is like basically pop artists do fusion.
Yeah.
So in a way, at least. So this song had a theme. It had a theme, and then he's selling Nikes that have like the pentagram pendant on it, and then apparently a drop of blood on the sole of the shoe.
Yep, I heard about that.
Now, like it's like everybody's like, oh my God, blood. They could be lying and say it's like it could actually be pig's blood, goat's blood. It could actually just be paint.
Look, this has been around. This kind of shit has been around forever.
Slayer.
Look, Kiss. I don't even really like them. Yeah. I don't even like the band. Kiss actually had in Kiss. I think the original Marvel comics that they did. I don't know if it's Marvel or whatever. They actually took blood out of themselves, put it in the ink that they were inking the comic with. So in the first printings of Kiss's first comics, you have Kiss's blood in your comic.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a big selling point for that. And everyone freaked out about it, just like these shoes. So it's been around. This kind of thing has always been around. And that's why I just think it's stupid that anyone tries to cancel anyone in the music profession, because guess what? People tried that and it didn't fucking work.
Nope.
They tried it with Slayer.
Yep.
They tried it with Marilyn Manson.
Yep.
They tried it with Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
They tried it with Madonna back in the day.
Yeah.
They tried it with it's gonna was it not? What's the dude's name? He was from Wham.
Oh fuck, I forget his name. Oh my god, I can't remember, dude. I can't remember.
The guy that did Faith, the original Faith song that Limp Bizkit covered.
Oh my god, that's not Boy George.
No, that's what I was thinking too, but that's not Boy George.
Fuck.
It's not George. Is it George Michael? No, that can't be it.
No, that's
no,
Poison.
No, that's something else. See, but you know what I'm talking about, though,
Yes,
right? It's the
yes,
guy from Wham that did Faith.
Yep.
And people can't. And it wasn't even anything super sexual. It's just that he's like half shirtless. He has like an earring and he's gyrating his hips. That's all it was. That's all it took for everyone in the Midwest to fucking freak out.
Oh, I know.
So this is nothing. I mean,
I don't want to see this.
I mean, good for these kids. They have their
shit.
Yeah, I mean, good for these kids growing up. They have their own little, their shock person.
Since I said that just like as a joke, like, are we gonna get canceled now?
I don't know, probably.
This is the problem that I have with people. Almost have to walk on eggshells.
Oh yeah, it's true. But here, I don't think it's terrible that people are getting more sensitive to certain things.
Right.
But I think that certain people do take it too far.
Right. Like, what did you look up? What was that tweet that you showed me
Okay,
before?
so I was because there's this YouTuber called named Lindsay Ellis. She does like video essays. Really, she does like movie criticisms and stuff like that. But she really makes it like very intellectual, and she breaks it down like it's an essay. Like, this is my thesis of why this movie sucks, or this is my thesis of why this piece of cinema theory works with this. I think one of her biggest thing was she did some weird thing with cinema theory, but she attributed to the entire Transformers Michael Bay series. But she did a good job with it. And also, one of my favorite videos she did was is Freddy Got Finger a like Dadaist style movie.
What is that?
She actually taught me this.
Oh.
So Dadaist is like almost like absurdity. It's like it's just an absurd movie or whatever, or like slapstick or something. I don't know like exactly the thing, but it's absurd. It's just basically absurdity. You look at the video and they're like, is this actually a statement on like being Dadaist, or is this just this guy losing his fucking mind on camera? And the reality is, yes, it's just freaking the studio gave fucking Tom Green way too much fucking money, way too much carte blanche to do what he wanted, and it backfired on everybody.
Well,
so and the
a
videos,
lot of people
and the video's
remember
funny.
that film though.
It's the video's funny because it's like these really hyper intellectual like YouTubers are trying to break down this movie to find some kind of artistic value in this, and they just can't do it because it's such a stupid fucking movie. But the thing is, to go back to Lindsay Ellis, she is getting canceled for a tweet she put out about Raya the Last Dragon. It's the new Disney movie that came out that you have to pay $30 for, which I think is a fucking stupid thing to do.
Holy shit.
HBO, you could just watch Godzilla vs. King Kong right now if you want to, if you have it, which we should totally do after this.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, so she mentioned that she did a comparison between Raya and Avatar: The Last Airbender, and people took that as her kind of, I guess, making a statement on like Asian themed cinema. And it's not even that. It's like, no, that seems like a legitimate criticism. And she's saying that all YA fantasies have been kind of ripping off of or going through the kind of motions as Avatar: The Last Airbender. She apologizes to anyone that got offended by it. She explains what she meant, and yet people are still throwing her under the bus trying to cancel her. And this is like what? From the YouTube post, it looks like it was like only 2-3 days ago that this happened. And before that, she's been pretty high pillar of personality when it comes to YouTubers. And she's not like offensive at all in any fucking way. Just someone took this shit the wrong way.
Yep.
Because I'll put it on there myself. I don't think she should be canceled because she had a legitimate film criticism, and it wasn't about Asian culture. It was that this movie seemed like this movie, and then this genre of movies seems like the whole genre should just be named of Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was the joke almost.
Well, that's because what's happening in the world right now. The virus came from China. Everybody's like, it's the China virus, and everybody is like just now being racist towards Asian people. And also there is more than just Chinese people that are Asian. There's Japanese. There's Korean. I could go on.
Filipino, Thai,
etc. We could go on. The point is that everybody is like looking to point the finger for some reason lately, and it's crazy. It's almost like trying to use everybody else as a scapegoat for their lives, not trying to fix anything that's wrong with them.
So you think this is more of like individuals taking up arms on something when they should just be working on themselves, that kind of thing?
That could be it, and it could be just their focus could be just
I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's like, look at it this way. There's the quarantine. Everybody's losing their minds, so there's nothing really to do. There's nothing to do.
Yep.
So if you just like keep feeding people shit through the media, then people put their opinions on social media.
Well, here's the thing. It's like people are actually saying that the quarantine actually is what helped launch the BLM movement, because like, as fucked up as it is, cops have been killing like people of color for a long time over dumb shit. And in really brutal fashion sometimes. It's just that now that everyone's trapped at home and all they're doing is watching the news and stuff, they're like, wow, this guy died, George Floyd died in a really fucked up way that no one should have died.
Yeah.
In no way that anyone should have died. Like, it's one thing to shoot someone, but to fucking suffocate him with your knee on his neck.
Yeah, no.
When he's telling you, please, I can't breathe. Like, that's fucked up. So that enraged everyone. And then all these other stories keep coming up because they'll go back to Breonna Taylor,
right,
or Tamir Rice,
right,
and you know what? Everyone's now paying attention, right. So that's when the movement really kicked off. Which, you know what? Yeah, good for them.
That's the thing. See, like, people would argue that point with me with George Floyd, like, like, oh, he was like, he had a record, this and that. He was on drugs when they pulled him over. Doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. Matter. Because what if that person was white? Would they do that?
See, there's the other thing too, because there was the comparison of how they treated George Floyd, or at least any person of color, compared to I forgot what mass shooter got caught. Some mass shooter got caught, and it was a white guy, and they gave him water. They also got him food before they took him into the precinct and stuff. Like, and this is a guy that someone legit, like, he murdered people, and they were treating him like, this upstanding citizen. Not upstanding, but like they treated him like a human being. As opposed to George Floyd, who got treated like a dog,
right?
With his neck, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like, fuck these cops.
Man. It's just like, in general, I never liked police. Like, I'm white, and it's the fact that I don't know. Maybe I have an alternative looking image to me. I don't know. But for me, it's like, I feel that because you're getting profiled no matter what. If you're getting pulled over and they think you're doing something, meanwhile, you ain't doing shit. Let's say you're walking home, because it's happened to me. And cops are fucking pissed me off. I got pulled over once because I was walking with my coat in December home with a hood up because it's fucking cold. They roll up on the sidewalk and they go, put your hands on the hood. And I'm like, what am I being, like, why? What am I being pulled over for? And they just had a fucking attitude. Just put your fucking hands on the hood. I'm like, all right, before I get shot, I'm going to put my hands on the fucking hood. So I was like, they're like, where's your wallet? I'm like, it's in my back right pocket. So then they ran my license. They're like, sorry, we're looking for somebody that's been stealing like gifts out of people's houses in Lindenhurst. The only description we got was a guy with a hood on.
Wow.
So you're going to stop people.
I got one for you after that.
You're going to stop people. And then, nonetheless, you can't explain why you're stopping them because, one, if they run that they did it. Two, if you explained it to me, I'd be like less like felt like I'd be threatened.
Exactly.
No, and they don't do that.
They go straight for aggression first.
That's the whole thing.
That's the problem.
And
well, I mean, it's one of the problems.
That's one of the problems. And you know what?
Yeah, no, I'll even
because it's to me, it's kind of ridiculous because I don't know, man.
Look, I'll even tell. I have a similar story. I think I just graduated high school. I took the year off from before I went to college, So I went to 7-Eleven. I went to get snacks and I got like a bunch of fucking hot dogs. I think I was a little stoned. I was happy. I was going back home. As I'm going down my block into where I used to live, a car just rolls in, cuts me off in one of the parking lots. These guys, who, by the way, it's clear they're cops because they're undercover, but it's like when you see a dad trying to dress hip. Like, you know, they come out, they're like, hey, stop where you're doing. And he has his hand on his hip. He's like, stop where you're going. Don't move. Put your hands up where I can see him. And I put my hands up. I dropped all my shit. The guy is like, let me see your ID. Let me see your ID. And he's pulling out his badge, showing me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I pull out my ID. And he goes, holy shit, this looks just like him, right? And then he's looking at his party. Yeah, it looks just like him. And he's like, we're sorry. We were looking for, apparently there was like a string of like arsony going around.
Okay.
And their only description was a Latin man wearing a red shirt with glasses. That was it.
So,
and by the way, I was 20 at the time.
Right.
And the guy they're looking for was 45.
Okay, that's a little ridiculous. And then that's racial profiling, 1. 2, like I said before with my story,
I spilled my hot dogs.
They made you drop your shit. Can you at least give me money for all the shit that I dropped and now is ruined on the floor? Probably not. And
not even an apology either. They're like, all right, there you go. And then they just left. And they just left.
Fucked. No, that's fucked. I hate that shit because it's ridiculous because they didn't even tell you why. Oh, just show me your ID. I can't grab my fucking ID. You had shit in your fucking pocket.
Exactly. It's like
that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's the biggest problem. And now, I mean, they're starting to make strides. I know that qualified immunity, I think, is finally canked in certain places, which is awesome. You know, I'm hoping that this guy gets taken down for George Floyd. The trial's going on right now.
No, like he should. Like somebody there's a viral video going on somewhere on social media where it's like somebody confronted him in a grocery store somewhere, and somebody's like, "Why aren't you in jail?" They're like, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." No, and then they're like, "No, I'm not sorry. You should be sorry you feel that. I feel that way. You should be sorry for what the fuck you did, and you should be in jail."
I think I might have seen that.
Also, that was like the same. I'm not sure. That could be the same guy that fucking incited the riot at the Target. Like,
I don't think that was the same guy.
And what was that state? Minnesota?
No. I think that was not the same.
There was a
guy.
different.
There's no way.
Cop.
There's no way that was the same.
It was a cop
fucking
though,
guy.
but it was a cop. But also he was all in black, dude. I watched a video, and there was this dude.
What did he incite the riot about?
What?
What was the riot for?
I don't know. This guy, like, he was just dressed all in black.
Are you sure it wasn't like? I mean, I don't want to like. You sure it wasn't like some Antifa shit either? Like,
I don't know, dude.
It could have been
because.
Or like an anarchist or something.
No. Because here's the thing. This one dude, this one dude, he's smoking a blunt, and he's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he has, dude, this guy literally had a pizza in his house. He was holding a pizza in it, like a pizza box.
Okay.
Like he just or like food or whatever. I forget what in his hand, and he's following this guy around the building. And this guy had his car parked all the way in the back around the building, and he had a baton and shit. And then he like the guy that was smoking the blunt wouldn't stop following him. So he was like, all right. So then like the guy got in his face. So then he put his food down before the video cut out. So it looked like he was going to try and fight him. I don't know. But it's like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they try and put that on black people. And it's like, really look at everything they're doing. The government is just trying to fool you into separation.
Oh yeah.
And if you can't realize that then by now, and then that they're trying to create a separation of people. They're trying to literally segregate people, and it's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, it's not even just that. It's the whole divide and conquer mentality that the government has. But it's like we're letting it happen though. We're letting it happen though.
Instead of playing into it and trying to with unity and unify together. And if you're going to go and feed into what the government and what the media is saying to you, they're winning. If we can just all basically work together in everything, in every which way in society in general, and have no hate based on, racial.
That's asking a lot.
How is that? I don't understand. For me,
it's asking.
I don't know why that's
for us. That's not asking a lot. I mean, like, hey, just be cool to each other. Be excellent to each other. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't. It's not how it plays. And you know what? I thought about it too, where it's like, you know what? There's always going to be a sense of clickiness or a sense of innate tribalism that we have, where we have to stick with our own, not even like our own race, but like our people that are like us. Everyone has that. There's always like cliques and stuff ever. Like even if you think about it, like we're friends because of music.
Right.
We are in the same scene. Like we are with a bunch of that is our tribe right there.
That basically, but it's like, well, that is very true.
You know what I mean? And then if a bunch of fucking like Nazis came to a fucking show, our tribe would kick the shit out of theirs.
Pretty much.
So there's an innate sense of like, there's a sense of tribalism, and it doesn't matter for us because we have all sorts of races in our scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's not even a big thing, but at the end of the day, there's always a sense of like us versus another group. There's always going to be something like that.
Originally, hardcore, the positive hardcore, the message was unity. You know, back in the day, it was unity. Like, you know, metal shows, it was push moshing and stuff. And they called it slam dancing, not hardcore dancing or whatever back then. For in the hardcore scene, and it would be unity. Like, you know, they had that whole, and they had a very clean mentality. Some the straight edge ones, they'd be vegan and straight edge. Mm-hmm. Some hardcore bands are people in the hardcore scene, and you know, it's just the values, you know, that are put into that. You know, not everybody that is in that scene takes those values. You know,
no, absolutely.
A lot of people, you know, like there is, like, you know, there is.
I actually find it's very rare that happens.
There's one subgenre, beatdown. It's very hateful. It's literally you're in a room and it's Fight Club.
Yes, but
you have no safe space.
Yes, but the thing is, if you're in that Fight Club, it's like going to an IDS show. It's just them beating the living shit out of each other.
Right.
And then you just gotta hope you don't get caught in the crossfire. That's it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, this is a beatdown show. Everyone knows each other.
Pretty much.
You know, if there's a fight that breaks out, that means that someone they didn't know started something with somebody else.
Yep.
They're gonna, and like that, you know what I mean? So it's that in itself, it's like a sense of tribalism. It's a thing that they do with each other as friends. I'm gonna fucking start rocking your face, because like you'll see in some of these videos, or even if you go to any of these shows, where like the guy won't even be really dancing. He's literally just grabbing people and just haymakering the side of the, and the guys are laughing about it.
Oh, but that's the whole.
What I mean?
That's the whole thing. Is like, when we wail on each other and it's your friend, you know, it's like you're not full force, like, I'm gonna fucking punch your jaw off and dislocate it. It's I'm just gonna hit you.
Yeah, that happens usually because you get caught by accident.
Yeah, sometimes if somebody's going and then you're just in the way and you didn't get out of the way and they didn't intentionally mean to do that. They're just trying to mosh and they're just trying to let off steam. Sometimes, you get caught in that, you know. The whole thing with divide and conquer, I mean, basically we need to, like, everybody needs to, it's a whole thing with ego too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It is a whole thing with the ego, and a lot of people here, like the United States, is based on fear. We live in a country where the government tries to control us with fear and control us with our emotions, because they know they can. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing, and people need, in my opinion, I feel like people need to wake up and just, you know, there needs to be unity. That's my opinion on it. There needs to be unity based on that. You know, people could be like, telling me like, oh, fuck unity, I'm just by myself. Then fine, go be by yourself. That's great. You know, those people that are just like, oh, crotchety and want to be left alone.
Yeah, the hermits.
Yeah, the hermits. You know, like, you know, then leave that person alone. You know, I know people that there's some people that just want to be left alone. And that's cool. Just, you know, people leave you alone.
No, or are you thinking more of like, just be cool with each other? Or are you saying like we should actually be helping each other, like communist style?
What do you mean, like?
As in, like, everyone just kind of, you know, like everyone just kind of pitches in to help each other, that kind of thing, but no one really owns property, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's just everything.
Like a free, like those
hippie communes, kind of.
Like a hippie. Well, I didn't say go as far as hippie communes, but I mean as far as just being cool with each other. Like, you know, like, it's just, I don't see a point to it. And at the end of the day, you're riling yourself up for what? Nothing. Literally
I mean, the one
nothing.
thing is, like, I'll say this, like, there's people that actually go out there and do shit, but I find that a lot of the people that are actually complaining about these certain issues or canceling someone, they're not really doing anything but complaining. They're not. I don't see you guys at any protests. I don't see you guys putting up any fundraisers. I don't see you guys posting up any activist stuff. I don't see you guys, I don't know, doing something. You know what I mean? And if you do it on your own time and you don't post it on social media, fine. But all I'm seeing is that you're complaining with no solution.
Right.
You know, and it is annoying when that becomes a person's personality. You know, activism is all well and good, but if that's all you are, like, if that's all you have to offer, that's not. I don't know. That's just me speaking on a personal level, because I know someone that it doesn't go too far, but it's like you say the wrong fucking thing, and not even maliciously.
Right.
Like, you just misstepped. You know, like you and me, kids of the '90s, right?
Right.
We grew up with some pretty heinous shit. Like, we were even talking about this the other day, even in the early 2000s. Like, we were talking about this yesterday when we were watching the Harley Quinn show. We were talking about, like, how this is kind of flipping the role from the females to the males. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the males
they
made the females the more, you know, well-rounded personalities, while the males are kind of dumb or doofy or whatever, or just assholes. Which, I mean, still, to me, I fucking love that show. It's hilarious.
It is. No, I thought it was great.
It's hilarious, and I honestly,
just noticed that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, and I know why there's certain incel fanboys that don't like that show now. Why they don't like it, I understand that, but I mean, you guys are cucks anyway, so it doesn't matter. But because it flips it on its head. Because if you look at old cartoons, it's like, you know, there's a level of bimbofication in women that it's just kind of like, all right, it's a little off-putting when you watch it now.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
What about Duckman? The sister was like a bodybuilder or some shit, and like Duckman was like literally like 2-3 feet.
I mean, there's
tall.
always
She
going
was
to be exceptions. Like, there's moments, you know, in shows like The Simpsons where Marge and Lisa was the smartest one in the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But main cartoon shows and that, especially ones that are for kids.
Yeah.
The girl's always the damsel, or she was always kind of aloof. They wouldn't say she's dumb, but she's aloof. Like, no offense. Like, I'm trying to remember the cartoon, but I'm like, April O'Neil really didn't have much of a personality in the TMNT cartoon. She was always getting caught or in trouble or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the turtles were still basically the equivalent to stoners.
Yeah. And I mean, that's only the cartoon too, because in the movie, April O'Neil was like a little bit more of a badass. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, it's just, if all you are is your activism, and you take it to the point where I can't even really talk to you because I'm afraid that I might say something. You know what I mean? And I do I like you as a person or whatever. Yeah. It's not even that if you call me out, all right, call me out. Be like, hey, this is offensive because X, Y, and Z. You know, just don't say this ever again, or this is why your reaction was wrong. Right. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not fucking wrong. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what you're talking about. I'm not going to get defensive. I'll be like, okay, I'm learning. Right. Because like I said, I grew up with shit that isn't acceptable now. And, you know, like, I mean, not like super, like, I didn't grow up in the fucking 50s or the 40s. No. You know what I mean? But I mean, the 90s wasn't great when it came to sexism, even racism. Yep. You know, a lot of jokes that you could say back then, you can't say now.
But also at the same time, because we said this like weeks ago, a couple months ago or something, like you said, like, you joke around with your friends, like, people would call me a fucking guinea all day. Like, I'd say, I make a joke of myself sometimes saying I'm so Italian that I sweat olive oil. Like, come on. Like, dude, I'd say, like, I'm French Canadian, I'm Hungarian, and I'm Italian. So I just call myself, like, a fucking, like, spaghetti slurping, snail syrup munching, snail munching, syrup chugging, like, gypsy. And it's a joke. It's a joke. I don't know. I
mean, it might go off because it's self-depreciating humor for you. Right. That's why, I mean, like I could talk about, like, Hispanic jokes all day long if I want to, like, you know, but, you know, like, how many times have I been jokingly called, like, a spick or a wetback by, like, my friends in, like, high school? Oh. You know what I mean? As a joke.
That's fucked, though.
Not really.
I feel like because it's like.
Also, I was with a lot of punk kids, so that might have been why.
Maybe.
Yeah. Now that I think maybe I shouldn't have normalized it that much. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was a little bit. Because, like, people call me a guinea, I'd be like, okay. But it's like a WAP. WAP means it stands for without papers. So, like, because back in the day.
Yeah, see, I'm learning.
So like WAP, I really didn't get that offended by WAP, and now whenever I think about WAP, I think of, like, the fucking Watch her for the
Nicki
Cardi B.
Min- Is it Nicki Minaj or Cardi B? I don't remember.
Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, God.
Nicki Minaj.
Also, that's another one. Why the hell are you going to try and cancel that shit?
What?
Yeah, like, what you call it?
Wait. Hold on. What's the fucking Lil Jon song? Oh, these females cry. Oh, skeet. That song, and you want to cancel WAP. Like, that is ridiculous. Okay. It's not like
I think
we haven't...
There's like another lyric. It's like, make your knees touch your elbows or something like that. As in bend down. Like
It's Magic Stick by 50 Cent. Actually, there was a tweet about they did the mean tweets with celebrities. And they had, like, somebody tweeted something like, oh, you're being sexist. He goes, and a guy tweeted it. He goes, I'm telling, it's a metaphor. I'm saying they're sweet, like, oh no, I'll take you to the candy shop. That song. He's like, I'm calling people like, I'm calling women sweet, like a sweetheart. You never heard anybody call, like, a girl a sweetheart before, you idiot? I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, Curtis Jackson's pissed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, canceling anything musical related is kind of a moot point.
Yep.
It's been going on forever. But yeah, like I was saying before, I mean, I don't mind if you want to call me out on some dumb shit that I say, then call me out. Just, explain, like, hey, look, you said something fucked up. This is why it's fucked up.
Right.
Explain it to me. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll register this and I'll learn from it. Like I said, from the person I was talking to when I had my little altercation with them, I learned I can't joke about this thing. Right. So I'm not going to joke about it anymore.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's and it's not even like something like, it's not like something I'm like, okay, I guess I can't do this anymore. That sucks. No, it's just like, okay. Oh, okay. I guess I can't do that anymore. That's fine. So it's, you know what I mean? You have to give people the opportunity to, like, learn. Don't crucify them immediately.
Yeah.
If they're belligerent about it afterwards, or they are not willing to learn, then fucking cancel them. Yeah. Otherwise, give us idiots a chance.
Pretty much. You can't. Well, that's the whole thing. You don't know what. There are so many people in this world, and you don't know what's going to trigger them, especially when you first meet them.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. Nobody's going to know what's going to trigger you unless you let them know. And if you let them know, like Oscar said, yeah, that's okay. But then if they keep doing it, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck? After a while, if they keep doing it, then they're assholes. Yeah, they're trying to get under your skin.
They're not learning.
Yeah, and they're not learning, and they're not getting it. So cancel them, tell them to fuck off, cut ties. That's it. It's just... I feel like whenever anybody, like, gets into, like, some type of activism shit, like you said, some people that are, like, not really doing anything about it and posting it.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, I knew a few people, but I know, like, one person where it's just like, oh, well, if you're talking about the posting thing, it's like, I'll see someone, like, on Instagram, like, constantly posting up stuff, or, like, on Facebook constantly putting up, especially when BLM first kicked off, and I'm just constantly putting up stuff, and I'm just like, okay, I see you're posting up everything that everybody else is saying, but like, what else are you I didn't see her put up any fundraisers or anything like that, or like, here's links to this, or here's, like, most people are putting up links to, like, how to, like, help people out with money to get out of jail, protesters, things like that. You know what I mean?
But are they doing it?
What?
But are they doing it? Putting money there?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing is, like, are you promoting this and advertising this stuff and just posting shit and then not doing anything about it?
No.
I mean?
Well, there's also something you got to be careful with too, because some of these places that are collecting money aren't always, like, actually
real. Not
real, but it's like there's a question of where they're putting funds. Like, I'll even put it out there. There's a group out here called LA Peaceful Protest, and I followed them at the beginning of BLM for a while. But the problem with them, and I went to protests and stuff and whatever, but these guys, like, so this person I knew got, they got manhandled by the police or whatever. They were at a protest and whatever, they got arrested. Now, they were accepting contributions to get these guys out of jail. Like, I knew one of them, and I'm like, oh, fuck, like, I'll throw in money for this, like, to get these people out of jail and to get them lawyers. But then when I talked to my friend at the time, they were going, the lawyers came up to me, like, without LI Peaceful Protest, like, saying anything. They came up to me and offered everything pro bono. I didn't really have any bail. And then later, this person's still kind of going after them because, number one, if you're going to do a protest or anything like that, be aware of what you can and cannot do around the police.
Yep.
Because, and if anything, if you're a leader of this protest, you are obligated to tell the people that are walking with you or marching with you what to do in case you are, confronted by police, or if you're in a situation that seems like it's going to get violent or something.
Well, that means because
Exactly.
basically you're in charge.
Yes.
You're in charge of those people's well-being.
So the guy that was that's in charge of LA peaceful protests with a few other people, I'm not going to fucking give the guy any fucking more clout because he's already all over the place.
Right.
He the people that were asking, because this person was saying, where the hell is the money going to that are going to donations and stuff? They always skirt the question of where the money's going. And not only that, like I said, the guy did not prep them before the march. And this guy has been to plenty of marches, and he has been arrested a few times, so he knows protocol. And he should have informed these people what to do.
So he's not.
So what happened was they were like in a neighborhood. They were like there's something about like you can't be on this sidewalk or something like that.
So he just doesn't care though.
No, the guy I don't like the guy because there was one where he went into like I don't know if you had it around there, probably around like America Road, like right in the train station where they had the huge Trump rallies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went to one of those, I think right before the election or something.
Okay.
And he was messing with people, like, and it's just like, and not even like he was like, because I think the idea was he was just supposed to walk through and just ask people questions about stuff.
Right.
But he went through, he started asking really invasive and probing questions. He would point his finger. He would like get really close to them. Like he was instigating shit.
Yeah. So he
was instigating shit. And like, I don't like those fucking people, number one, but it's like, if you're clearly out there to try and pick a fight. And then when police get involved, he starts going off, oh, these guys did this to me, these guys did this to me, these guys did this to me. And it's like, number one, I don't know why you're asking help from the goddamn police in a Trump rally, being, BLM or whatever. That's just, but the idea was like, he's just like, I don't know what the point was. It's just to stir shit up, I guess. But there was no point to it to me. And then what happened with these guys what you're not supposed to do is, so let's say an officer like is going for someone, right? Because they did something, whatever. Mm-hmm. You have to just let that person you can't block an officer or like try to get your friend out of the way or something. Like if the officer's going for that person, you can't, that's it. That person's getting taken. All right. That's otherwise. So what happened was the leader, he was getting taken down, and people were trying to like block the officers kind of come in or whatever.
Right.
This person was one of the ones blocking, and because they touched an officer with their arm, the officer immediately pulled them down and slammed him to the ground. And this person, number one, very skinny, kind of frail, not the biggest person in the world.
Right.
And admittedly, they soiled themselves a little because they were scared. They've never dealt with that before. Never dealt with that before. Like they've never been manhandled at all. So like, and this was traumatizing for this person. And the thing is, and later they find out that, oh, this is what you did wrong. And even the lawyer said that the person leading this protest should have told you what to do in case this happened. So it was a failure on LI Peaceful Protest's part. And then not only that, they keep skirting the question of where the money's going. And I just tell people, don't support those guys. There's plenty of other organizations. These guys, just because they have this one guy that thinks he's like the voice of like Long Island BLM.
That's really fucked up though, because now you have to filter through what organizations.
See, that's the thing. It's like,
donate.
Really, like, if you're going to be an activist, focus on your own activism.
Right.
Do what you think is right. Really do research on people that you're going to march with, that kind of thing. Really protect yourself, because honestly, you can't rely on anybody else. And then, it's just also just don't make this shit your whole personality.
Yeah.
But
so you're saying don't embody something, be a part of something.
Yeah, just be a part of it, support it, but don't make it your whole thing.
Right. Okay.
Because it'll get tiring, and not only that, you're just going to hurt the cause by just being this militant. You know what I mean?
You're not helping the cause.
No, because what you're doing is you're becoming a person that doesn't want to have a dialogue. You just want to be a person that just tells people shit.
Right.
You have to be open to some kind of dialogue. Like I have tons of Trump supporters and right-wing people in my Facebook newsfeed.
Right.
Just so I can get the other side. Granted, 95% of it, I just want to fucking choke these people out. God. But it's like, at least I know what they're thinking.
It's just like, like we said, there's extremists on the right, and that's an extremist on the left. Like I said, like there's I don't know that song, like Stuck in the Middle or whatever it is, like
Oh, the Bob Dylan song?
Like, yeah, Bob Dylan, Joker's to
Oh,
the left of me,
yeah,
sun to the right.
yeah.
Here I am stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Well, I think it's
stuck
Reservoir
in the
Dogs with
middle
that shit.
you. Oh my God, yeah. I remember that.
It was a good scene.
It's basically, that's how I feel, like stuck in the middle. And it's like, I just want everybody to just be cool with each other. It's just like, can we just do that? You know, it's not that fucking hard. I'm sorry. You tell me, like, some people think that it's hard. It's really not. Stop.
I mean,
Stop looking at people. This is what
on an individual level, probably not, because I mean, like,
individual. That's what I mean. You have to look at everybody. Unless you meet this person and find out everything about them, get to know a person, be nice to the person. Guess what? There probably won't be any animosity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. That's my whole.
I know. But there's a lot of factors that go into that shit. And like I said, there's just some innate thing in humans. I just think it's a human thing. Like, there is something about this certain type of person that I don't like because they aren't like me. That's a human thing. No matter how you look, it goes down from just like when we were hardcore kids and we were pissing on emo kids. You know, even though half of us were secretly listening to the same shit they were, you know, or it's
true,
or it's fucking Nazis and everybody else, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's a sense of there's always going to be that. I don't think it'll ever go away. Even if it's funny because you remember that I don't know if you ever saw the South Park episode they did about when Cartman goes to the future and atheism is actually the ruler of there's no religion anymore, but atheists groups are fighting amongst themselves in like giant like global wars. Why? Because they're fighting over what to name atheism or what to name the collective of atheism. They all believe that there's no God, but they're all pissed off at each other because they all have different ideas for a name for what they have. And they're on full-on sci-fi warfare, kind of like Star Wars style warfare.
That is once again though going back to the ego.
Yeah.
In general, it's going back to the ego. There's people with bruised egos and stuff, and people that just are ignorant, or people that could have been raised that way too, that were bred ignorant. Either way, you're fucking ignorant.
There's people like that.
You know, and it's like,
and once they get out into the world, they can change.
Yeah,
they can change.
I just, it's ridiculous. It's just a little crazy, man, how that still exists. Because it's like, I felt like at one point, you know, after the 90s and everything else, and then when we got more into the 2000s, that, you know, I didn't really see anybody that was racist. I never, met anybody that was racist.
You might not have registered it. Like I said, apparently my friends are very wrong in calling me those things, and I didn't register it until just now.
I mean, like, I would have been like, if I went to high school with you, dude, I would have been like, hey, man, that's not cool, I'm calling you that. You'd be like, no, it's just joking. I'm like, no.
Yeah, see, like, it didn't register to me until literally just now when I brought it back up again for the first time in like 20 years. Because I'm like, wait, now that I think of it, this actually wasn't that great. Fuck.
It's not like that they said like a joke to you. They literally just called you a name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just me. But, you know, people are just, and those are the people that, you know, usually come from broken shit and don't know how to deal with shit.
They were like ex-skinheads, so I'm not. That makes sense now.
Great.
Makes a lot of sense.
I don't even know, first of all, why there's still Nazis. There are different types of skinheads.
There are.
Well, yeah, there's non-racist ones.
Yeah.
But the racist ones are what I'm talking about, the Nazis. Now, why the fuck do they still exist? I don't know, because World War II has been over for the longest fucking time.
I don't know what it is.
You lost. You fucking lost.
Well, then why the South people still have the Confederate flag?
They don't know shit. They're just probably gonna be the people like in fucking, what is that movie with the fucking hydrating the lawn with Brondo? Idiocracy. It's got electrolytes. You're gonna fucking water the fucking lawn with Gatorade probably because there's a drought. It's got electrolytes. It's got what plants crave. Yeah, I guess, you fucking idiot. I am still enthralled by all this bullshit. And that's probably, I've repeated myself probably about a good 17 times. I know, I don't really care. It's just that it bothers me so much. I mean, that's all I have to say about that with everything in cancel culture. But the greatest thing that's coming now, at least. Thank God. Maybe it could be the saving grace. Maybe this means, because I never thought that New York would ever be legalized or recreational for marijuana. And marijuana. That it would be that this is like, to me, hell fucking froze over. So maybe
it kind of came out of nowhere too.
Yeah. And maybe there's going to be, we have to go through the bullshit to get out of it. You know, this is a little silver lining, guys. Let's just take that away. And
agreed.
You know, if you're out there listening to this podcast anywhere and you're lighting up right now, you might as well want to grab your bong, grab your bowl, grab your papers or your blunt wrap, start grinding, and start smoking some weed.
Yes.
Because 420 is definitely coming.
That's true. It's kind of funny. It's April Fool's and 420 for New York.
Yo, I don't hope this is not a joke. Because then I would feel like a biggest idiot.
I really hope this isn't a joke. You're exhaling.
Yeah, exhaling a hole as I rip this bong.
You see, as a good Christian boy.
As a good Christian boy.
I don't finagle with the devil's lettuce.
Oh God. So anyway, by the way, how is that edible hit?
Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. As a good Christian boy. I was not privy to the fact that this was a special edible. I thought it was actually just a delicious culinary item from my friend Nick, and apparently it was laced with the devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Surprise.
It's all right.
It's all right. Feel pretty sweet.
Feel pretty sweet.
All right. Well, I think this might wrap up this episode of Trash Culture Podcast.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was a grapes one. Happy Weed Day.
Yes.
We'll see you next time. Also, check out Gooned Up Nerds. That's Oscar's podcast. Sometimes I'm featured in that.
Yes.
Has a lot of cool pop culture shit, a lot of comic shit, a lot of movie shit. Check it out. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye, guys.